Hello guys, I'm Mahsa Mardia.
And I am Julia Dianto. We are from Mula Warman University English Literature Study Class A. The House on Mango Street covers a year in the life of Esperanza, a Chicana Mexican-American girl who is about 12 years old when the novel begins. During the year, she moves with her family into a house on Mango Street. The house is a huge improvement from the family's previous apartment. And it is the first home her parents actually own. However, the house is not what Esperanza has dreamed of because it is run down and small. The house is in the center of crowded Latino neighborhood in Chicago, a city where many of the poor areas are racially segregated. Esperanza does not have any privacy and she resolved that she will someday leave Mango Street and have a house all her own. Esperanza matures significantly during the year, both sexually and emotionally. The novel charts her life as she makes friends, grows hips, develops her first crush, endures sexual assault, and begins to write as a way of expressing herself and as a way to escape the neighborhood. The novel also includes the story of many of Esperanza's neighbors, giving a full picture of the neighborhood and showing the many possible paths Esperanza may follow in the future. And after reading this story, we already discussed about the question. The question is, why the woman in the story forced to be married and being a mother? But before we go to the answer of this question, we will talk about the theory of feminism.
Based on Peter Berry book, An Introduction to Literary and Cultural Theory, feminism is the literary theory that direct product of the women's movement of the 1960s. This movement was literary from the start in the sense that realized the significance of the image of woman promulgated by literature and saw it as vital to combat them and question their authority and their coherence. In feminist criticism in the 1970s, the major effort went to exposing what might be called the mechanism of patriarchy. That is the cultural mindset in men and women which perpetuated sexuality inequality. This movement diagnosed by problem of women's inequality in society and proposed solution. And the thought that compatible with our question is from Betty Friedan. Betty Friedan was an American feminist writer and activist, a leading figure in the women's movement in the United States. Her 1963 book, The Feminine Mystic, is often credited with sparking the second wave of American feminists in the 20th century. In 1966, Friedan co-founded and was elected the first president of the National Organization for Women, which aimed to bring women into the mainstream of American society now in fully equal partnership with men. Friedan gradually accepted both the radical feminist critique that liberal feminists are prone to co-optation by the male establishment, and the conservative feminist critique that liberal feminists are out of touch with the bulk of US women who hold the institution of marriage, motherhood, and the family in high regard. When she wrote her 1963 classic, The Feminine Mystic, Friedan seemed oblivious to any other perspective than those of white, middle-class, heterosexual, educated women who found the traditional roles of wife and mother unsatisfying. She wrote that in lieu of more meaningful goals, these women spend too much time cleaning their already tidy homes, improving their already attractive appearance, and indulging their already spoiled children. Focusing on this unappealing picture of family life in affluent US suburbs, Friedan concluded the contemporary woman needed to find meaningful work in the full-time public workforce. Wife and mother partial absence from home would enable husband and children to become more self-sufficient people, capable of cooking their own meals and doing their own laundry. Although Friedan had little passion for obsequious wife and doting mothers, she did not, as some critics thought, demand woman sacrifice marriage and motherhood for a high-power career. On the contrary, she believed a woman could have a loving family as well. In Frieden's estimation, the error in the feminine mystic was not that it valued marriage and motherhood, but that it overvalued these two institutions. To think that a woman who is a wife and mother has no time for a full-time professional career is to limit her development as a full human person, said Frieden. As soon as a woman sees housework for what it is, something to get out of the way, to be done quickly and efficiently, and sees marriage and motherhood for what it is, a part of her life but not all of it, she will find plenty of time and energy to develop her total self in creative work outside the home. In her book, The Feminine Mystic explains well enough why marriage and motherhood are not enough for a certain kind of woman. The feminine mystic misjudged just how difficult it would be for even privileged women to combine a career with marriage and motherhood unless major structural changes were made both within and outside the family. 18 years after the publication of The Feminine Mystic, Frieden's message to women had substantially changed. In the second stage, she described as culturally feminine the so-called beta style of thinking and acting, which emphasized fluidity, flexibility, and interpersonal sensitivity. And as culturally masculine, the so-called alpha style of thinking and acting, which stress hierarchical, authoritarian, strictly task-oriented leadership based on instrumental technological rationality. Rather than offering 1980s women the same advice she had offered 1960s women, namely, minimize your feminine beta tendencies and maximize your masculine alpha tendencies, Frieden counseled 1980s women to embrace feminine beta style.
And our analysis for the question why the woman in the story forced to be married and being a mother is in the story on page 11. Esperanza great-grandmother, she was a wild horse of woman, so wild she wouldn't marry, until her grandfather threw a sack over her head and carried her off. Just like that, as if she were a fancy chandelier. And the story goes, she never forgave him. She locked put the window her whole life, the way so many women sit their sadness on their elbow. From this part of the story show that Esperanza great-grandmother is a wild woman that won't get married until he met the grandfather, and after she married she just stay at home and do the housework only. Page 93, one day Sally's father catches her talking to a boy and the next day she doesn't come to school. And the next until the way Sally tells it he just went crazy. He just forgot he was her father between the buckle and the belt. From this part show that Sally's father overprotective to her daughter until Sally cannot do interaction with the other boy. Page 101 until 102, Sally says she likes being married because now she gets to buy her own things when her husband gives her money. She is happy except sometimes her husband gets angry and once he broke the door where his foot went through. Though most days he is okay. Except he won't let her talk on telephone and he doesn't let her look out the window and he doesn't like her friends so nobody gets to visit her unless he is working. She sits at home because she is afraid to go outside without his permission. From this part show that Sally at the first like her marriage life because her husband give her money to buy anything. But sometimes her husband get angry and lock Sally in the house all the time. So at the end, Sally just spend most of her time in her house. From all these parts shows that women who had been married just stay at home and do the housework because mostly the husband told the woman that the husband can fulfill the life necessary, so it is okay for the woman to stay at home. But based on the Friedan thought, woman can be a career woman that can work outside the house, but still can do the housework too, because she saw most of the women who just stay at home unsatisfying with their marriage life, because mostly they spend most time just to cleaning the house, take care the baby, and do the housework. But some critics think that women should sacrifice their married life to have a work career. But in Friedan thought that women still can do both of the housework and the work career and still have a loving family.
This is the analysis of the House on Mango Street novel using feminism theory. Thank you for watching our video.
See you!